right, Grimmis, how's it going?
Man, what's happening with it, Cam?
Man, grinding,
Capone?
man. For sure, good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you too.
So a lot of people probably know you a little bit from some at least that's where I remember you from. You have some YG videos.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Can you kind of tell them a little bit about how you kind of got into that and maybe what videos and everything you've been on?
Most definitely, man. It wasn't just a walk-in. Couldn't just get on. He the little homie. It wasn't just like, oh, he the homie. He the big homie. I'm gonna let him come do something. I had to actually audition. And when I got there to the studio, it was up in Santa Monica. When I got there, it was like maybe 7, 8 people. At the time, I really didn't know it was a song with Drake on it, and they were auditioning. I went last, because I actually came. That's where I fit at. And they was doing their thing. I don't know what they was doing because I really wasn't focused on them. I was off in the cut just thinking about what I'm gonna spill. I just do this shit off the top of my head, and they was doing their thing, and as it came along, it came my turn. And I was watching the response, it wasn't no over-the-hill response. They was like, okay, and I don't think it was no favoritism. It was just the get down. It's the voice, it's the delivery, it's the spit, you know what I mean? And when I got up in there, I just do what I do, man, and when I got done, I seen these niggas was like, man, they was like, they was at the Super Bowl team just won, and they was all in it. And I said, well, shit, that was cool, I figure, this shit went real well. And they told me I got the part to do what we was gonna do, and then they told me it was with Drake. It was a song YG and Drake had. Well, YG and Drake, yeah. So, from there it was history, man, spilled over into like 4 or 5 more cuts. Big and Back Being Boo. That song was Who Do You Love? Blame It on the Streets, the voiceover for the advertisement for the movie is Blame It on the Streets, the trailer. You have to look for that. And then it was a couple of more joints where I did some little skits with him and Slim on a couple of joints.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mostly remember you from Big and Back Being Bull.
Yeah.
That was the one, the video, and you know what I'm saying? You making me feel uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Legendary. Everybody loved that.
Yeah, that was dope.
And
man.
I never imagined that one little phrase would take off like it took off, But that one little phrase is buzzing right now today,
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, let's get to know you a little bit better. So for people who don't know, where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in the city of Compton, born and raised in the city of Compton.
And what was it like for you growing up there?
Well, initially in the beginning, with most families, things is kind of rough. My mom wasn't professional. My dad wasn't professional. He was a blue collar worker. And then he hustled on the side. Pops was the local neighborhood pharmacist. He wrote scripts and pop scripts and got pills and flipped them back in the day before it was really popular. Like right now today, it's always been popular, but it's kind of crossed over to a different generation. So it's owning up now, We had a little tough, but we made the best of it, I started off with, it was 6 siblings. My brother Johnny, Jamal, Speedy, my sister Karen, and my little sister Tanisha. It's down to just me and Tanisha now, But grew up in the trees. It wasn't the trees when I first grew up there, It was really just a blank area. The closest neighborhood was across the busy street, Fruitown. And then, the more and more that we grew up over here on this side, we started to have our own issues where different people, because when you're younger, don't nobody really pay attention to you because you're a kid. But as you get older, you become a teenager, you start to attract that attention, and so it was attention from different neighborhoods that surrounded all of us, Fruitown and Treetop. It was different. It was neighborhoods from the opposite that surrounded our whole community, you know what I'm saying? And, it just got to the point where we had to just group up. We started, the people we grew up with, we just clicked up and we started our own little community, you understand me? Our own little hood,
So you're like an original member of Treetop?
100% from the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were there before, and it kind of starts to form and everything, man. Were you like one of the first members, or were you like?
I'm in the first round draft choice.
Okay, and so how many people was it that started off in the beginning?
Initially, it was D-Dog, it was Wayne P, it was Goo, it was Ricky, it was Elijah. It's a couple of more fellas just escaping my mind right now. That was the first round. They was my peers in my age bracket. Carlos, it was quite a few of us, but we grew up together. We grew up playing, music, listening to good music together, got interested in lowriders earlier. So just to become what we became was kind of like, it just happened. We was going to parties over in Santana Block, and, I don't actually know where it went from good to bad, but it went from good to bad, and, as it went on, it started to be problems with just different communities. That's just how it go.
Now, as you're seeing things get worse, what are some of the changes that you like see in the community? Or like at one point, did you realize like things are getting really bad? Like, did you lose somebody close to you?
I lost quite a few people close to me. You start to see your friends die, and then I guess that infuriates you. That builds up more anger, more frustration, and it gives you more motivation. You know what I'm saying? To move like you need to move.
How old were you when you think all this happened?
I think I was about 16.
And were you going to school?
Yeah, I was still in school. I was going to Davis Junior High School.
Okay. And what type of student were you?
I was a pretty decent student, pretty good at reading and writing, comprehension. Not into sports. I don't really care too much about sports. My sport was in the street. That was my athletic ability. Just getting out there and doing what you do, move how you move. I became real clever at it, real good with it,
And at this point, did you get arrested for anything, or did you go to juvenile hall?
Never been to juvenile hall. Like I said, I got real good at it. I think I ran into the police a couple of times on some minor, unrelated stuff. I never really threw my street name, at the time, my street name. I don't just throw my street name on paperwork, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what kept me out of a lot of trouble. I always just give my government name because that's all they need to know. Nowadays with the social media, a lot of people do a lot of things that's different from the way we was raised. It's like if you got something going on in the dark, leave it in the dark. Don't bring it to the forefront, don't exploit it. People do drive-bys and holler out their neighborhood, and the next thing you know, where are we gonna go? Right back over there where they hollered out. So you're bound to have to lose somebody close to you. But if you remain a ghost, you just be a ghost.
What was high school like for you?
High school was cool, man. I was heavy in the weed. I was selling weed. We was established. I was fucking with my boy Dyke, Sir Dyke. We used to roll to school, or Wayne P. I didn't have a car. I ain't gonna sit here in front. I didn't have a car, but both of them had vehicles, nice ones. Dice had a 66 Chevy with a pillow top on that motherfucker, I want to call it. And Wayne had his choice of cars. It could be a Lincoln, it could be a Cadillac, whatever it was, we was fresh and we was rolling. And when we pulled up, we smoking. You know, we was chilling, we was living. You know, we was popular in school. You know, I had the sack. You know, we was just living. We was enjoying life. You know, things was good. We didn't have a lot of problems. You know, even though we had the problems we had in the community, we didn't have a lot of problems. I went to Centennial High School initially in the beginning, and then I got booted out because of the sales of narcotics. But I didn't get caught bad. Like I say, you gotta be smart. You gotta move smart. You know, when they caught me, I had 2 joints. Normally, I come to school with a zip or 2 zips and I move it all. Back in the day, it don't seem like a lot, but back in the day, that was a lot to have to move, you know. But when they caught me, they got 2 joints and they kicked me out of school, you know.
Did things start off like with like a lot of fist fights and then it kind of progressed to more
initially
violent?
It started off with fist fights. That's how it went. And then them bullets came into play, you know, that firearm thing, you know, just start doing what it do, man, you know, because like I say, everything progress. You know, it's just like they get one up on you, you get one up on them. It's competitive. It's just like sports. You know, you want to win the game. You want to be the star player. You want to make it happen. You know, but you want to do it in silent. You know, you don't want to do it exploiting it.
Okay, so you mentioned going to school. You mentioned you guys were having a lot of fun. You know, what were some like the good times?
We had gang fights at the school all the time. In the senior square, it was always cracking on certain days, just about every Friday, you know, or if it was a football game, it's cracking, you know. And by the grace of God, you know, I survived all of this shit. I survived a lot of this shit. I've survived more shit than you can imagine, you know, and I've been under the gun quite a few times. And God's just been with me, man. I just been blessed, you know, grace and mercy, you know, to somebody who don't deserve it, but he give it to you because he got a bigger plan for you, you know, and I don't ever close my eyes to it. I don't shy away from it and I don't hide it. You know, I thank God that I made it this far to the age I am today, you know.
What do you think was like the closest time you felt like you might have been to death?
The closest time I might have been to death. The closest time I might have been to death, I went to a party. Me and about 3 of my partners. It was on Halloween, and we really wasn't familiar with the area. It was in Carson, California. And there was a park across the street from the Carson Mall. And it was a Halloween night, and who was it? It was me, Dyke, and it was 3 of us. And I forgot the third one name, but I can't call his name right now. He gone. But we pull up, and we die moves. We Piru, you know. You know, we from Treetop, you know. Well, I'm from Treetop, he's from Fruit Town, and the other one's from 151, you know. And so JB. You know, and this is years ago, you know. A lot of things happen over the years that you can't control, but this is the story, you know. So we pull up, and we in a Mustang. And JB always had a fast car. He always knew how to drive fast. Anyway, we get out the car, and we walk down the hill. You got to go down a hill to get to the park, and this whole side of the party was Crips. And this is a big party. And Dyke had a red rag tied around his head. And, you know, everybody had what they needed on them to be right. And then, so we said, we on the wrong side. We got to go to the right side of the party. So we cross, it's another party going on, the haunted house, on the other side of the park. But now we putting distance between us and the car. And we go, it's just 3 of us. We go all the way to this party, and it's all Crips.
Oh man.
So what do? You don't lose your cool, you don't panic. You understand me? We got the advantage. If you think logically, it's 3 of us and it's probably 400-500 of them. They got to say to themselves, either these motherfuckers are stupid, are they crazy, are they up to something? But whatever they up to, it can't be too good, but it's in their favor. Or at least they prepared for whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you play it cool. If you lose your cool and you panic, they're gonna realize you made a mistake, right?
Yep.
So we just turned around and walked back through the middle of that motherfucker and went on up the hill. By the time we got to the hill, we were surrounded though. You know, we got one burner on us, you understand me? And them niggas they was deep, you know? I mean, shit, they was deep. And so they was like, woo, woo, what they finna do. And so, bam, the hand is on the steel, and it's like, okay, well, I'm cracking a nigga straight in the, I can't do nothing but headshots, that's it. You know, that's all I can do, because it's too many. But I can shock the shit out of some of you motherfuckers enough to make you run the other way, you know? And somebody ran through the crowd saying, hold on, nigga, let me get there. And when he came through, and I'm saying, you know, I'm just ready. You know, when he came through, he looked at JB and he grabbed him and he hugged him and he said, oh, nigga, where you been? Whoop, and they start chopping it up. And I think that's the closest, one of the closest I done came. If it wasn't for that dude, you understand me, we'd probably be up out of here.
Damn. And this was this in high school? After high school?
No, I think it was either the last year of high school. No, it was I think it was the last year of high school.
Were you surprised that they let you leave, being that it was all these Crip dudes?
Not really. Well, actually, you know, in the midst of it, in the beginning of it, no, I didn't think we was gonna get up out of here. Hell no. I'd be lying to you if I said I did. I didn't think we was gonna get up out of there. You know, it was women and everything, bitches and everything, just like, fuck them niggas, you know. But whoever this dude was that came through that crowd, you know, he was a real motherfucker, you know. And you know, you gotta look at the 3 of us. We ain't run. We wasn't scared. It's like, we finna go down with what we go down with. It's gonna do what it do, man. And, you know, I think I've survived a whole lot of shit, you know. And themselves, they've survived a whole lot of shit, well, at least one of them. But, you know, it's just, I didn't have any thoughts like that. My thought was, I gotta shock some motherfuckers to make a hole, to get to the car and we get the fuck up out of here, you know.
Yeah, man, damn. So, you know, glad you made it out of that, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad too. We wouldn't be having this interview.
Right. What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.